Let me describe a couple to you. See if this sounds familiar. James and Sarah have been together for 7 years. They're not fighting. They're not cheating. There's no big betrayal. They both work full time. They split the bills. They text during the day. They say, love you before bed. From the outside, they look solid. But privately, they both feel the same quiet contradiction. They care about each other. Yet something feels thinner than it used to. They're still together, but they don't feel deeply connected anymore. They didn't decide to drift apart. It just happened. And here's the relief most people need to hear. That doesn't mean the relationship failed. It means it followed the default path, because most relationships don't end. They drift. Most people believe relationships fall apart because of big problems, infidelity, incompatibility, toxic behavior, a dramatic breaking point. Those things do happen, but they're not the most common cause. What usually happens is quieter. Two reasonable people with good intentions slowly lose connection without realizing it. Not because they stopped caring, but because of how modern life works. Let's give this pattern a name. Drift. Drift is what happens when a relationship runs on autopilot. There's no intention to leave, but there's also no intention to maintain. You assume the bond will hold because it always has, and that assumption is the trap. Here's what most people don't realize. Relationships require inputs, not feelings, not memories. Inputs, time, attention, emotional safety. When those inputs decline, connection declines, not immediately, incrementally, and incremental losses are hard to notice. Let's do a simple math autopsy. Early in a relationship, James and Sarah spend about 2 hours a day actually engaged, talking, laughing, checking in. Life gets busier. 2 hours becomes 40 minutes, then 20. That doesn't feel dangerous, but losing 1 hour of connection per week adds up to over 50 hours per year. Over 5 years, that's more than 250 hours of conversations that never happen. No single moment feels catastrophic, but the relationship feels it. Now let's layer in psychology. When people are stressed, their emotional bandwidth shrinks. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that chronic stress reduces empathy and patience, the exact traits relationships depend on. So when work gets harder, money feels tighter, or life speeds up, people don't become bad partners. They become tired partners. Tired people conserve energy. They default. They withdraw. Not out of malice, out of biology. This is where systems matter. Modern life rewards being busy, being productive, being reachable to everyone. It does not reward being emotionally present, having slow, uncomfortable conversations, repairing small disconnections early. Those things don't feel urgent, so they get postponed, and postponed connection becomes distance. Now let's talk about attention. Phones are always nearby. Notifications never stop. You're technically together, but cognitively elsewhere. Over time, your partner learns something subtle. I'm no longer worth full focus. Not because you don't care, but because attention is scarce and it's being spent everywhere else. This creates emotional distance without a single argument. Here's the psychological trap. Many people believe if we're not fighting, we're doing well. But silence is not the same as peace. Unspoken disappointments don't disappear, they accumulate. Because nothing explodes, nothing gets repaired. From the outside, the relationship looks stable. Internally, it's slowly hollowing out. This is why drift is so dangerous. There's no alarm, no clear villain, no moment that says, fix this now. Just two people adapting to pressure independently until they're no longer adapting together. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this just how long-term relationships work? Change is inevitable. Drift is not. Drift happens when change goes unmanaged. Healthy relationships don't avoid stress. They absorb it. They notice when routines replace rituals, when logistics replace curiosity, when efficiency replaces intimacy, and they correct early, not dramatically. So what actually works? Not grand gestures, not rules, not perfection, but structure, because structure absorbs pressure. I want to give you a simple framework. I call it the 10-minute drift reversal. Not to fix everything, but to stop erosion. Step 1, create a daily anchor. Same time, same place, and no negotiation. Before bed, after dinner, during a walk. Predictability matters more than duration. Step 2, ask one real question, not logistics. Questions like, what's been weighing on you lately? What did you not say today? What are you quietly worried about? Then stop talking. Listen without fixing. Step 3, reflect, don't respond. Repeat what you heard. Not advice, not solutions, just understanding. Feeling understood restores safety faster than being helped. Step 4, reaffirm choice. Say it plainly. I choose you today. I'm still here. I'm glad we talked. This sounds small, but repeated, it rebuilds trust. 10 minutes won't save a relationship once, but 10 minutes, repeated stops drift before it becomes distance. Because consistency restores safety, and safety restores intimacy. Here's the big reframe. Most relationships don't fail because people stop loving. They fail because care isn't enough. Without structure, drift isn't proof that love was fake. It's proof that life applied pressure and no system absorbed it. If this made you think about a relationship in your life, leave a thoughtful comment, not a hot take, just a real one. And if you want more conversations about money, relationships, relationships, and the systems that quietly shape our choices, consider subscribing. This channel is about seeing clearly, so you can choose intentionally. I'll see you in the next one.